you want to sit through the players?
What's that?
Do you want to sit through the players?
Oh.
All right, everyone, we are now ready to start the NC State portion of the press conferences. I'd like to remind you of the rules once again. There's no flash photography, no video recording. Please make sure everyone's phone is on mute. I'd also like to remind you that while the interviews are going on here, the locker rooms are open at the same time. If you have a question, please raise your hand, and we'll wait for the microphone to get to you. Once you have the microphone, if you could please give us your name and your affiliate, we would appreciate that. So we'll go ahead and open up the floor for questions. Let's just start on the aisle there.
Jaden Watson-Fisher, News and Observer. Madison, this is obviously a special game for you. Your mom said a bunch of people are coming, a bunch of people in the city are kind of conflicted. They, obviously hometown school, but also local kid. What does it mean to know that so many people are excited for you and for this journey that you're on?
I think it's really exciting, playing against my hometown. I always used to go to the UTC games, men or women. So it's always cool to see that, they're good enough to come here and play in the NCAA this year. I know a couple people on the team as well. I played them in high school. Jada Gwen, I played her in high school. So it's really exciting to see, playing against my local college.
Okay, let's just go across here on the aisle, and then we'll get you.
Amalia Roy, CBS 17. We're seeing so many people this season and last season falling in love with women's basketball. How does it feel to have this record viewership and more eyes on you?
Sanaya, could you answer that, please?
Yeah, it feels really good. Honestly, I feel like it's well-deserved. Women's basketball is so fun. It's so entertaining to watch. And just to see that we're getting more in the same views as the men this year feels really good, especially really going into the tournament. So we're excited, and hopefully the views just keep coming in.
Okay, in the back.
Casey Hentz, WREL. For either one of you, just 2 weeks since that ACC championship game, what has been the biggest focus for you ladies as you've prepared for the opening tournament?
Madison, could you please answer that?
The main focus is just really focusing on us the first couple of weeks, just really making sure that we're doing what we're supposed to do, fixing the mistakes that we need to fix, just getting ready one game at a time. We're a really good team, so I feel like we'll bounce back and we'll be ready.
Okay, Ernie up front.
Ernie, Wolfpack Sports Radio. What's the team's mindset going into this tournament as opposed to last year?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, sorry.
I'm sorry. I was distracted. That's my fault.
Okay.
No, that's a really good question. I feel like it's the same as last year, just making sure we're all coming in, locked in, knowing that really it's one and done. You either win or you go home, We've been putting in a lot of time, a lot of preparation into this, so hopefully, it all falls in line. We're excited. I think everybody's excited, really the freshmen. They've never been dancing before in the NCAA tournament, so we're just all excited and locked in.
Madison, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I agree with what she said. Also, just being focused. I think that's the main thing. Just like I said before, one game at a time. That's all it takes, and that'll take us a really long way. We have a really good team, and our chemistry is great. So I think we're really excited for sure.
Okay, Ethan, did you have a question?
Hey, Ethan McDowell from the Wolfpacker. Madison, you mentioned playing against Jada in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Just from what you've noticed on the scouting report, what do they do well? How are they going to challenge you tomorrow?
They're a really good three-point shooting team. One of them shoots like 60-something% from the three, so which is really, really good. So we just got to make sure we get out to all the shooters, just making sure we know our scout, know individually. Everybody's going to be guarding everybody in this game, so we just got to make sure we know our scouting report, know the game plan, which is, we got bigs, so we got to make sure we get into the bigs a lot. Revolve around them, inside-out game. So, yeah.
Let's go to Bob up here.
Bob Sutton with the Associated Press. Madison, were you anticipating a potential matchup with Chattanooga? Were you kind of forecasting that it could happen? And were you as excited, or was Coach Moore as excited as you were about it?
I think I didn't know that we were going to play Chattanooga, honestly. I think when I seen it, I was like, oh my gosh, like it was just really exciting. I think I looked back at Coach Moore like, oh yeah, we're playing Chattanooga. This is your old school. But, I think it's exciting for both of us to play someone that we've been in the city, and especially for me living there all my life, playing against some of the teams that that are really good. So yeah.
Up front here.
Samantha Casano with Local 3 News in Chattanooga, Madison. You're one of the most decorated players to come out of the area. Do you have a message to any of the girls back home in East Hamilton or in the area who will be watching you at home?
I think just, not even just me, but Ryan Howard, which is my cousin. Obviously, I played her a lot in district championships, and, learning from her, too, I think was the biggest thing for me. I think just working hard. I started out late in basketball, didn't think I would be as good as I am now. I mean, going from 8th grade to now, just seeing myself now, I feel like, just working hard and putting the effort in, just being a good role player at the time, but now, like, I'm really impactful to my team, at least I can say. So, yeah.
Let's go back to Ernie.
This one, Sinai Rivers. You've been on a team that won this tournament, and you one of the, top players in the country. And how does it feel trying to get back with another team to where you were before? Is that a motivation for you?
Absolutely. It feels good. It felt good sliding that ring on my finger. So, of course, I'm trying to, get a twin ring on my finger. Especially with the team, I love coaches that I appreciate very much. Fans are there for us day in, day out. They support us. It would be crazy. It would be amazing. Yeah, let's lock in.
No,
let's
yeah,
get us
sure.
another ring. Let's get another ring, for sure.
Let's stay on the aisle right behind.
Madison, I was told that you were, maybe 8th grade when you told your parents that you were in their bedroom one night. You said, I want to be the best player in the state of Tennessee. And then you were like, just kidding. I want to be the best player in the United States.
Yeah.
Do you remember that moment? And if so, what do you remember about it?
Yeah, absolutely. My first sport was softball. I was really good. Being looked at, one of the examples was Tennessee. I was getting looked at for being a catcher. Obviously I was growing and my knees, started getting a little, but I just realized that basketball was just so much like up tempo, and I really loved it. They didn't force me into it. I wanted to do it. That was something that I loved about the game, and just went in there and just said I wanted to be the best player in the state at first, and then, I obviously went and say, well, I think I'm really good enough to be one of the best in the country, and like here I am, so.
Absolutely.
Any other questions? Cliff, am I correct that there are no Zoom questions? Okay. All right, ladies, thank you very much. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, everyone, we are now ready to begin the press conference for head coach Wes Moore. Coach, could you please start with an opening statement?
Yeah, obviously we're excited about being here. Proud of our team for performing well enough all year to be in a host position. I think that in women's basketball, I think that's a big goal for everyone to be one of those top 16 seeds. And so great accomplishment there. But on the other hand, that doesn't guarantee you anything. Obviously, you have to come out and play well. I knew in my mind about a week ago at least that they would probably send Chattanooga and Tennessee over here because they love a storyline. And not, again, tough. Spent 15 years at Chattanooga. Love the university, love the town, love the people. And then Tennessee, Kelly and John Harper are two of my dearest friends. So not excited about, playing them. We've tried to avoid each other in the past other than scrimmages. So it's tough from that standpoint. And then Green Bay, Coach Barset has done just an unbelievable job of that with that program for a long time. So it's a tough bracket, tough draw, and I know we'll have to play really well this weekend.
All right, thank you, Coach. If you have a question, please raise your hand, and we'll get a microphone to you. Let's start with Bob, and then we'll go there, and then we'll get you.
Bob Sutton with the Associated Press. Is it just an uncomfortable thing playing against teams that you're and people that you're familiar with, or is it you said you kind of try to avoid it? I guess.
I mean, not to mention that they're good. All these teams are really good and well coached teams. But yeah, I mean, Kelly and John were on my staff at Chattanooga for I think 4 years, maybe something to that effect. And obviously Chattanooga, I still know a lot of people in the administration and all there. They gave me an opportunity to be a head coach at the Division I level. But yeah, and again, like I said, I know all three of them are talented, well coached. But from a personal standpoint, if we're fortunate enough to get to that second game. And again, we're going to have our work cut out for us from that. But if we are, you hate to play really close friends.
Okay, Smith on the aisle.
Smith Casano with Local 3 News in Chattanooga. Coach Poppy mentioned the other day the impact that you've had on the Mocs program. To see them back here in the tournament, to see that legacy that you left has continued, what does that mean?
Yeah, I mean, he's done an awesome job, and obviously watched a lot of film on him the last few days. Offensively, I think they're 21st in the country, offensive efficiency. They've got some, for us, tough matchups, and then they shoot the heck out of it, When you look at some of the numbers, they're mind-boggling. I mean, the two freshmen that don't start or in conference play are shooting 42 and 65% from three. That's daunting. I mean, that's scary. So, but yes, I love seeing Chattanooga in this position and cheer for them. We did go over there and play a few years ago. It was a great opportunity. Again, 15 years, a lot of former players and all still. I've got one of them flying in this weekend, staying at the house. So, it's that too makes it a little tougher. But, yeah, I mean, again, proud of where they are.
Let's go to Ernie up front.
Ernie Myers, Wolfpack Sports Radio. Coach, what is your main concern going into the tournament and your team? What is the vibe of the players and the staff going into this?
Well, you tell me. You had the players in here before, so you probably got a better feel for that than I do. But, I don't know. Again, it's been a while since we played. And, of course, some people don't like that. I kind of like having that extra week. And, we've been fortunate, I think, every year, but last year it's fallen during our spring break, so we were able to give the players a few days to get away from it and recover a little bit. And But, yeah, it seems like forever now, and you're sitting here watching everybody else play. You're watching our men in their big run and then the women's games, and you're thinking, man, let's go. You know, you're chomping at the bit. But, you know, again, hopefully, you know, we have that energy, that sense of urgency this time of year, especially veterans realize this may be their last go around. And so it's, you know, you gotta lace them up tight and be ready to go.
Let's go to Ethan in the back.
Hey, Coach. Ethan from the Wolfpacker. Obviously, you didn't get to host last year. Now being back with potentially 2 games at Reynolds, just how nice is that? How much does that help to be back here?
There's no doubt. It's a big plus. And, again, like I said earlier, it doesn't guarantee you anything. You still got to go out and play. You know, we lost 1 game here this year. We won 3 games in overtime this year. So it's, you know, it's still, you're playing great teams that have had, you know, really successful years. But our fans make a big difference, and I think they give us a real home court advantage, and we're excited about that. Last year was disappointing. We had some, you know, some tough losses, and like I said, probably the most pressure I feel in this job is trying to make sure we get in that top 16, and it's not easy. There's a whole lot of really good teams that are playing on the road this weekend. So that's why I said I'm really proud of our players for being able to put us in this position.
Okay, let's go in the middle here, and then we'll get you, and then we'll go to Peter.
How you doing, Coach? JB Ricks with Spectrum News 1. Forgive me if this question's already been asked, but when it comes to your first round opponent, you guys already have the distractions of, you know, being here at home and having the fans, having the Reynolds crowd, Coliseum, and being expected to win. Mimi told me that you've been really hard about film as far as keeping them focused, you know what I mean, on their first round opponent, so they don't look past. Can you speak on that as far as what's been your key behind that success?
I mean, we're playing a team that's lost 1 game since December. They beat an SEC team early in the year that's a pretty good team. So you can't take it. I mean, again, they got some matchup problems because they're going to go with a small post inside. So that's challenging for us to match up with defensively some. And I'm sure on the other end, they're going to do things to take that advantage away, such as doubling the post or fronting the post, things like that. So you still got to be able to go out and execute. And then, like I said, they're unbelievable shooters from the three-point line. You know, I hadn't seen numbers like this. It's like a video game. I mean, shoot 65% from the three-point line in conference. It's scary. So I'm talking about a particular player, obviously. But, yeah, I mean, again, and you're right, being at home is tough. I think we've got 9 people staying at our house, so I'm really thankful I'm in the hotel with the team this weekend. God bless my wife. She'll be sleeping on the couch. But you know, it is when you're playing at home trying to find tickets, and, you know, the NCAA controls these now, so now you're trying to buy some extra tickets, and it's crazy. But at the end of the day, you got to, you know, put your time aside and at some point put that phone away and get on that film and make sure you're doing everything you can to prepare your team. But, yeah, we got to take it one game at a time. I think one of the Twitter accounts or whatever, X accounts, you know, 94 feet, I think they predicted this was the number 1 possible upset, us against Chattanooga. So, you know, we saw what happened last night, the men's side. So you can't take anything for granted, and you got to make sure you're playing at your best and hope you're hitting shots, and maybe they miss a few.
Okay, let's go on the edge here, and then we'll get Peter over here.
Hey, Coach. Brian Pirtle with Pack Pride. We were talking with Madison in here, talking about where this one selection show, and y'all saw that y'all were playing Chattanooga. Y'all kind of had a moment where you're looking over at each other. It's like, okay, here we go. Can you just describe what that moment was like?
Yeah, it was funny because Madison turned around and looked at me when they revealed us in Chattanooga, which, like I said, I knew that was going to happen. I knew based on the numbers they were going to do that because they love doing this stuff. And then before they revealed the other half of our little bracket here, I said, get ready because Tennessee's fixing to pop up too. And sure enough, there it came. And so, yeah, for her, a Chattanooga girl, and again, there'd be a lot of people say I'm a Chattanooga guy, spending 15 years there, and it was unbelievable. And But yeah, it's good to see them back in the tournament and winning championships, things like that. But obviously, you got to put all that aside and focus on the job at hand, including Madison has to do that as well. So
let's go to Peter over here.
Peter Katrumpis, Triangle Sports Network. Wes, I asked Kelly the same question here. You've both been coaches of like mid-major programs, Chattanooga's, Missouri State, Green Bay's. She talked about the coaching mindset that, you know, when you have those types of programs, that there's a us against the world kind of chip on your shoulder. But now that, you know, you both have gotten to that higher level, so to speak, in terms of exposure, is there a difference in your coaching mentality with a program like NC State versus, you know, what could be a mid-major or however we define
I don't know. I'm a grinder, you know, and that probably this time of year probably doesn't help me much because they're probably sick of hearing me after about 4 or 5 months, and I understand. But, you know, I prepare the same way, and, you know, it's still, you know, the scout, the film, going over things in practice. It's still basketball, still the same thing. So, you know, I had one of my former players from Chattanooga, who's a high school coach now, text me this morning, and she said that. She said, is it hard getting them to focus? Because with us, we were always the underdog and excited for the opportunity to knock somebody off. And I do get that. That's probably a little bit, you know, freer, less pressure. You know, I think at that level, your pressure is the conference tournament because you've got to win the conference tournament no matter what you've done all year. So that used to be the most pressure in the world on me was the tournament weekend because you won the regular season. You're supposed to just roll out and win the tournament too. And only one team's going. So, you know, for them, they've kind of lived that pressure and survived it. So now they're, you know, ready to, you know, go for it. So, you know, I think you know, our biggest win when I was at Chattanooga in the tournament was beating Rutgers when they had Cappy Poindexter and I don't know, I had a great team and, you know, legendary coach, Hall of Fame coach up there. So you do, I think you do kind of play with house money a little bit, you know, and they look to me very confident in the conference tournament, and I'm sure they'll bring that with them.
Any other questions? Once, twice? Oh, here we go, back here.
Cora Hall with Knox News. I saw you got to chat with Kelly and John a little bit on the court earlier. Was it nice to just get to connect with them before everything starts, before you're potentially facing them on the court?
Yeah, I mean, I went and, you know, John and I were texting, and I went and picked him up last night when they got to the hotel, and he and I went and hung out, and he ate. I'd already eaten with the team, but he ate dinner, and we watched basketball for a little while. Like I said, they're two of my dearest friends, and, you know, it makes it tough. But, again, we got to get to them, you know, and I made that clear to him too. I mean, we, you know, heck, Chattanooga's a very good team, and Green Bay's a very good team. We both have work to do. But, yeah, you know, on one hand, it's great to see them and visit with them a little bit. On the other hand, you know, I wish they weren't here, you know. But, you know, no matter what happens on that court, it's not going to change anything. And like I said, they're two of my dearest friends, and, you know, I love them. So, but we both have to set all that aside. And if we get there, again, I don't want to, like I said, right, our focus has been on Chattanooga. And obviously we got coaches preparing for Tennessee and Green Bay both. But in practice and all, our focus has been on this first game. And that's the way you got to do it this time of year, one at a time.
Any other questions? All right, Coach, thank you very much. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.